Welcome to Mr. Edward's Stories. Today's tale reminds us that one act of kindness can change your life forever. Our story follows a young black man named Isaac Turner, whose simple gesture of respect set off a chain of events he never could have anticipated. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It was a busy evening in Newark, and Isaac Turner, a 23-year-old black man, was on his way home after a long, draining day. Isaac worked two demanding jobs, one as a machine operator and the other as a cleaner in a local factory. He had been up since dawn, barely stopping for a break, and the exhaustion weighed heavily on him as he reached the bus stop. When the bus finally arrived, Isaac was relieved to see a free seat near the back. He slid into it gratefully, leaning back to catch his breath. The days had been feeling longer and harder lately, and he couldn't help but wonder how much more he could endure before he burned out completely. Isaac's mind was far away, drifting between his exhaustion and the faint hope of a better future, when the bus made another stop. A slight commotion caught his attention as a frail, elderly woman slowly climbed aboard, clutching her bag and glancing around the crowded bus for a place to sit. Her unsteady hands grasped the rail as she looked over the packed seats, visibly fatigued from standing. Isaac, feeling an immediate surge of compassion, didn't hesitate. "Ma'am," he called out gently, catching her attention. "Please, take my seat." The woman turned to him, her expression both surprised and grateful. Isaac's face lit up with a friendly smile as he helped her over to his seat. "Thank you, young man," she said with a kind smile as she settled into the seat he had given up. Isaac brushed it off with a casual nod and a warm smile. He hadn't done it for recognition, just to make her day a little easier. Standing for the remainder of the ride, Isaac leaned against the side of the bus, fatigue pressing in as he counted the minutes until he could get off and finally go home. But as the bus neared his stop, something unexpected happened. He felt a gentle tug on his jacket and turned to find the elderly woman looking up at him with an almost mysterious smile. Before he could ask her anything, she reached up, her hand trembling, and slipped a small folded note into his jacket pocket. "Here," she whispered, giving him a knowing look. Then, without another word, she settled back into her seat as the bus pulled to a halt. Bewildered, Isaac stepped off the bus, the note in his pocket already tugging at his curiosity. As he walked, he pulled out the note, unfolding it carefully. Written in neat handwriting was an address, 17 Lakeview Lane, and a 5-digit code, 19324. Isaac's brows furrowed in confusion. Why had she given him an address? And what was the code for? He read the note over and over, but it still didn't make sense. Tired though he was, Isaac couldn't shake the curiosity gnawing at him. When he finally reached his apartment, he set the note on his nightstand and lay down. But sleep wouldn't come. What did the note mean? Why had she chosen him? The question circled his mind all night, and he spent the next day with the note at the back of his mind, waiting for the workday to end so he could investigate further. After his shift, he pulled up the directions on his phone and decided to visit the address on his way home. The bus ride felt longer than usual, the air thick with anticipation as he thought about what he might find. He arrived at the location, and to his surprise, the address led him to a large gated estate on the quiet outskirts of the city. Isaac was struck by the size and elegance of the property. It was unlike anything he had seen in his own neighborhood. A tall iron gate surrounded the estate, with a small panel by the entrance featuring a keypad. He remembered the 5-digit code from the note and hesitated before typing it in. As he pressed the final digit, the gate unlocked with a soft beep, slowly swinging open to reveal the grand estate beyond. His heart raced as he made his way up the path, surrounded by beautifully manicured gardens and towering trees. The air felt peaceful, yet charged with mystery. Isaac reached the front door, which was slightly ajar, and hesitated before pushing it open. Stepping inside, he was greeted by the familiar face of the elderly woman from the bus, sitting comfortably on a plush sofa in a spacious living room. "Welcome, Isaac," she said warmly, her smile revealing that she had been expecting him. Isaac was taken aback. You knew I'd come?" he stammered. "Of course," she replied, gesturing for him to sit. "Let me introduce myself. My name is Helen Foster. I know you must have questions, and I'd be happy to answer them." As he took a seat, Isaac couldn't hold back his curiosity. "Why did you give me that note? Why invite me here?" Helen's eyes sparkled with a knowing smile. "Because, Isaac, you showed me kindness when you didn't have to. That's rare. I needed to see if you'd truly follow through on a simple act of compassion, even when there was nothing in it for you." Isaac listened, intrigued by her words. Helen explained that she was in need of a caretaker for her estate. Her health had declined in recent years, and managing such a large property had become overwhelming. "I wanted someone I could trust," she continued. "Someone who shows respect to others, no matter their background or appearance. And you, Isaac, have shown me that you're that person." Isaac felt a rush of emotions as Helen offered him the position. The salary was more than generous, far more than he could ever make working his 2 jobs. It felt like a dream, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change his life. He accepted without hesitation, grateful beyond words. Over the next few months, Isaac settled into his new role. His daily tasks involved helping Helen with her meals, ensuring she took her medications, and assisting around the house. But beyond that, the two formed a deep, unexpected bond. They spent hours talking in her grand living room, with Helen sharing stories from her youth, tales of adventure and life lessons. One chilly morning, as Isaac prepared breakfast, he heard a sudden thud from Helen's room. He rushed in to find her collapsed on the floor, struggling to breathe. Panicking, Isaac called for an ambulance and held her hand until help arrived. Thanks to his quick response, Helen made it through the crisis, and Isaac was once again by her side, offering comfort and support. As the days passed, Helen grew weaker. Isaac spent more and more time caring for her, determined to make her remaining days as comfortable as possible. He had come to think of her as family, and his love for her only grew. One quiet afternoon, Helen beckoned him to her side. "Isaac," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "thank you for everything you've done. I want you to know how much I appreciate you." A few days later, Helen passed away peacefully, leaving Isaac devastated. She had become a friend, a mentor, and a guiding light in his life. A week after her funeral, a man in a suit arrived at Isaac's door, introducing himself as Helen's attorney. To Isaac's shock, the attorney handed him a letter and a set of documents, explaining that Helen had left her entire estate to him. Isaac's hands trembled as he read the letter, tears filling his eyes. Helen had willed him not only the estate, but also her investments and assets, ensuring he would never have to worry about money again. She had even set up a fund for his mother's medical needs, knowing the burden it had placed on him. The simple act